So I was in the store grocery shopping when I came.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome again to another broadcast of Off Plantation Radio. So glad that you guys can join us this wonderful evening of Thursday, April the 20th, 2023. We're going to be starting here in just a moment. We're just going to give people time to get on and log on and get your seat and get you something to drink, get you something to eat or whatever, and just get ready. And as we dive into this news here. So glad that you guys can make it. Remember, we're not just broadcasting here on YouTube, but we're also simultaneously broadcasting on mybondtube.com. That's right, go to mybondtube.com. And for the quite a few people that just joined us over these last few days, I want to formally welcome you to this platform that you're on. And let me bring this up on the screen here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about when I say mybondtube.com. Now, we got YouTube, and, we're grateful for YouTube and all of that, but we also understand that YouTube be on that stuff, be moving kind of funny, if you know what I'm saying. And so what we decided to do is say we're going to create our own platform, our own video platform, and that we did. And thanks in large part to you guys for making it happen. That's right. It's called mybandtube.com. And here you'll find a whole lot of videos, not just of yours truly, but also we got documentaries, we got movies, we got news clips. We got a lot of things that you may not be able to find here on regular YouTube because YouTube be snatching stuff off. So, and this is why we call it Off Plantation Radio, because right now you're on the plantation, you're on YouTube plantation. But if I say something that the plantation owners don't like, guess what's going to happen? They're going to snatch me off real quick. But don't worry, we're going to be right here on our own land. And it's not a plantation, it's our own land. It's called mybondtube.com. And this is where you can find all the backup videos of all the stuff that we've done, not just us, but like I said again, many, 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 many other things on here. We talk about topics that you can't talk about here on this plantation. So yeah, you can check that out again. That is not Samba Tree, that is mybondtube.com. And again, we're going to start here in about another minute or so, give people time to get themselves together. And then we're going to go ahead and get right on to it. You're listening to Off Plantation Radio. I'll see you in just a moment here. And while we're here kind of waiting for everybody to get on here, just as another reminder to you, we do have our intersection. It's better known as Linktree. And Linktree is going to have all of our links. There's some links I still need to add on here. But for the most part, all the things that we've uploaded recently, you're going to find right here on linktree.com/journeyman and woman. That's where you're going to find it. And I'll put the link in the chat for you so you can check it out and make sure you bookmark it. And that way, if you turn around and look, and all of a sudden you don't see anything being posted, it's probably because the plantation owners told us to go sit down somewhere. But that don't mean we ain't working. We still doing our work here. So you can find all kinds of teaching series that we've done here. Links to our podcast page. Links to Samba Tree, of course. Shock Stop. Projects that we're working on. And of course, we thank you for your support. You go to the bottom here. If you like to support to the platform here, you got our PayPal account. You also have our Cash App account. And if you want to support BondTube directly, there's a link right there on your screen. All right. So it's all right there. I try not to have that constantly flashing on the screen because that can be a distraction. And we do what we do because we love our people. But if you want to contribute to the work that we're doing here, you are more than welcome to do it. And we thank you for your support. You just come make your way over here to that link that I just posted right there on the right there in the chat. Scroll down there to the bottom, and there you go. All right. Again, big shout out to everybody in the chat. So glad to see everybody this wonderful, wonderful evening. Man, we've been having some wonderful weather. It's starting to come around. We're getting close, y'all. We're getting close. And it's starting to come around right now. And I think for us here in the Northeast, I think we're I'm specifically talking about us here in New Jersey. I think we made it out of the winter with very little snow. I think the most we got this year was it was just a little dusting. It really wasn't a whole lot at all that we got. I mean, I didn't even have to break out the shovel this year, which I haven't said that in a long time, since living back here in New Jersey. But let me tell you something. Don't listen to these fools out here trying to tell you that, it's because of global warming. And this is why we got to, get people in electric cars, and we got to stop using fossil fuels. I did a video. We posted a video on that and what that whole term, where it actually came from. When they say fossil fuels, what they're trying to put in your mind is that this is limited fuel source. It comes from dinosaurs, and it comes from, all this, things that are limited. So we don't have a whole lot. No, that's what the Rockefellers came up with, to try to put in your mind that it's limited. So we're the only ones that can control the supply here. And this is why now we need you to, first, we're going to manipulate the price of gas. Anytime there's a war starts, and all of a sudden the first thing you see happen is what? Gas goes up, and everybody starts pointing at each other. It's your fault. No, it's your fault. It's our fault. And all this stuff. And then slowly in the background, you hear the drum beat of, that's why you got to get an electric car. You got to get an electric car. But ain't nobody trying to spend that money. They ain't got no electric car money. I mean, there's some people I see out here, but ain't nobody got that kind of money. There are people that do. You can always tell when you're in a certain part of town, when you start seeing Teslas all over the place. I've said to my family, I said, I would like to drive one just to try it out, just to say I drove one. But would I like to own a Tesla? Nah, no, not at all. No, I don't want to drive anything that can be controlled externally. I'm serious. No. Yeah, I've seen too many movies. You're right. I have. And you know what? The movies are usually right. The movies seem like they always end up coming to pass, don't they? Well, anyway, speaking of which, these people always are going to let you know. Let me pull this up here while we're on that topic here. Let me see if I can find that my thingamabob here. Hold on for a second. Let me scroll down here. All that talk that, people have been doing when it comes to talking about chemtrails. When people talk about chemtrails, and it's like, you guys are just, you guys are just tinfoil hat wearing fools. They ain't no chemtrails. Those are contrails. Remember all of that? Remember all that talk about, those are just contrails. Those lines you see in the sky. Come on, y'all. That's not real. That's your mind just saying that, stop listening to these people out here. All of that, right? Well, just like something else, they eventually start coming around and they start telling you the truth. And lo and behold, Mr. Barber, hey, good to see you too, brother. Good to see everybody in the chat, as always. Well, eventually they always come around and they start telling you the truth. Stuff that you already know. That's why I say you ain't crazy. When you start noticing things and start seeing certain things, I think a lot of times we live in a society that trains you to second and third guess yourself. I'm telling you right now, stop doing that, because if you see it, chances are it's probably real. Well, anyway, with that being said, let me show you this video here, because now they're starting to come out and telling you that what you were seeing, what you were saying all that time, well, there's a lot of truth to it. Let's take a look at this video and let's listen to them discover, quote unquote, the truth.
The Colorado River, called the hardest working river in the United States, is in danger.
This is due to two causes: reductions in precipitation and increased air temperatures.
The river provides hydropower to 7 states, irrigation to more than 5 million acres of farmland, drinking water to 40 million Americans, and of course, the breathtaking whitewater rapids running through the Grand Canyon. All of it threatened by more than 2 decades in a megadrought. We can't just flip a switch like Colonel Joe Moore in Mad Max Fury Road. But we do have a superpower. Straight out of science fiction's X-Men: The Last Stand. It's called weather modification, or cloud seeding.
We can't create the cloud. There has to be an existing storm system.
We just give it a bump.
Yeah.
Garrett Kamens heads up one of the largest cloud seeding companies in the U.S.
Has the desperation in the mega drought made the interest in cloud seeding skyrocket?
Oh, definitely.
There are currently 42 cloud seeding projects across the American West, like this one in Utah, where they take planes like this with flares attached. They fly right into the storm and send microscopic particles into the cloud.
Particles that act like magnets for water droplets, bonding together until they are heavy enough to fall to the ground as rain or snow. At the University of Colorado, researchers are working on artificial intelligence to deploy cloud seeding drones.
And it's not just cloud seeding from the sky. There are hundreds of those things. That shack you see in the foreground is a ground-based cloud seeder. The little flame coming out is sending tiny silver iodide particles up into the sky. When a storm comes through, they go up to 2,000 feet above our head, into the storm, up those mountains, and make more snow than it naturally would.
While cloud seeding has been helping get every last drop out of some of the driest years on record, this past winter, Mother Nature came through. The Southern Rockies, which feed the Colorado River, got more than 4 times their average snow. But experts say it's still not enough.
As much as cloud seeding is a boost or a help, it's not a solution. The main solution is
Conservation.
Cloud seeding is most successful in wet years, so this was a huge winter for them. They actually stopped early because Mother Nature was giving up so much. Now, studies have shown that the environmental impacts from the silver iodide, on the current scale, there are no impacts to snow or rain also.
Of course, there's no impacts at all. I mean, spraying chemicals in the air, there's no impacts at all, none at all. Now, what they're talking about is cloud seeding. But when we're talking about, what we're referring to is not just cloud seeding. We're talking about on a clear day when you look up at the sky and you can clearly see that, I mean, and it's a clear blue sky, and you can clearly see that these fools are doing something up there. And it's more, so there's no clouds to be seeded. There have been multiple proposals, discussions. Bill Gates, of course, has put money into this as well, where they actually are spraying things in the sky in an attempt to not seed clouds so that they can get more rain, but to block the quote unquote harmful rays of the sun, the UV rays. Well, if you've been listening to us, the UV rays are something that's of utmost important for us, particularly us as Black folks. Your skin, when you look at your skin, it was created, it was designed to take those UV rays. So they're not harmful for us. I don't know. So that only leaves some other people that they're talking about. It ain't harmful for us. UV rays on, listen, UV rays, what we talked about this week. Hopefully y'all been paying attention, because we've been uploading a lot of shorts, on this platform. UV rays, what do? They kill bacteria. What else do they kill? Viruses. Those are two of the things that they do. But they also, all of these different wavelengths that are coming from the sun, they also activate your pineal gland. They do that. They activate that as well. They do all kinds of things when it comes to your organs, and activate them and get them going. I don't know if you've ever noticed, if you've spent a great deal of time out in the sun and you go and you got to go to the bathroom, take note of you got to pee, take note of that. If you notice that it's darker and you're like, wait a minute, how did all of a sudden, I've been drinking a lot of water, why is it darker? The reason why it's darker is because when you feel that heat on your skin, what's happening is your nerves, your blood vessels or whatever, they're all becoming activated. And the first thing, their first order of for that day, for that time, is to flush your body out of toxins. So what you're seeing is part of a detoxification process that your body is doing as a result of being exposed to the sun. All right. So that's what you're seeing. And what these devils want to do is to cover the sun to prevent that. Why? To keep you sick. So this is why on this platform, we probably should just change the name of this channel to the Sun Channel, because we always talking about the sun. And we're going to keep on talking about it until our people get it. It ain't just a ball of light in the sky, family. It's the source of a lot of things for us, specifically as a people. And this is why on this platform, we're going to keep on talking about it. Just like we're going to be talking about the importance of that melanin that you have here. All right. We ain't going to be sitting up here just talking about, these white people, they trying to take our melanin, and you don't even know what melanin is for. So we're going to make sure our people stay educated on that, and make sure you're doing everything you can to, to feed into that. Right. So anyway, let me show you this as well. This is another image here. Now take a look at this. Now this is a radar image. All right. You're going to watch this thing play out here. Watch this play out on your screen. You see all that lines right there? That's what we see in our sky every day. You see that? Those are them chemtrails. And then you see how they slowly expand and they start covering the sky. So we're not talking about seeding clouds here. There were no clouds, and all of a sudden, you see that? This is what they do every day, family. All right? There is an active war against people, period. I mean, you got to be a full demon to come up with some idea like this, that we got to cover up the sun. There's nothing at all in nature asking for this, nothing. So that only leaves unnatured people or unnatural people that want this stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, so now you got radar evidence right now showing you that what you were seeing up there is what you were seeing. There you go. Well, anyway, so again, so glad to have everyone here tonight. So glad to have you guys join us for this wonderful night. And tonight we're going to be getting into, we're going to be having that, we're about solutions here, but in order to talk about solutions are only there because their problems exist. So you can't talk about solutions if you ain't talking about the problems. So for some of our people tonight, it's probably going to be a little bit challenging because you're not used to listening on a platform where problems are being addressed. And, and then you always get that one or two people that come in, well, what's your solution? We always talking about the problems. And the main people that bring it up don't want to even bring any solutions to the table in the first place. But we do. And we have been doing that. So anyway, and one of the areas that our focus on this platform is something that we've established. It's called Sombertree, sombertree.com. You're going to hear a lot about that. Yes, it's a store. Yes, it's something that we sell. But it's more than just a store where we're selling things and y'all please support us by buying from our store. It's a lot more than that. This is a mission for us. And the mission is simply to educate our people the best way we can on the natural things that they can acquire in their lives. You don't have to buy it from us. You can also, get things from out in your own backyard. We're showing you how to do those things. We're putting you in, we're trying to bring in people. We brought people in the past, and we're going to continue to bring people in the present, that's going to show you things that you can do with your own resources in your own house. And unlike a lot of platforms, we're not going to sit up here and tie it to some kind of financial benefit. Your solution is only tied through us. No. We just here on the side here, but more than that, we want to provide information, and we're going to continue. And you're going to notice over the next few months, we're going to be turning it up on this particular platform here. We're going to be adding a lot more. What you're going to be seeing, we do have Samba Tree YouTube page. The YouTube page. We do have that. You can go over there and subscribe to that. We're going to be making some changes here, because I would say in the latter part of the year, you are going to notice us making some changes on this platform as well. And we've been saying that. For those of you who've been with us for a long time, you've seen the changes that we've been going through just in the last couple of years. And yeah, we're still doing that, because our mission right now is to get our people not just healthy, but also walking in wellness, as well. I had a sister, I don't know if you're listening right now, you reached out to me and you said, yeah, I think I'm ready for, is there any body that I can go to get some counseling? So if you're listening to me, I'll get back to your email. This is the second person that I've come across just in the last 2 weeks. It was another person, it was a brother, that said, hey, listen, I'm going to, he was sharing with us that he's going to get some help. He's going to get some counseling. I'll tell you, man, that's a wonderful thing. I'm glad that, our people there are some of our people who are realizing that we need to get help. We need that, and that's part of wellness, and that is part of health. And so anyway, so that's really where our thing is when it comes to providing solutions for our people. And so the health and the wellness part is very, very key. And so with Samba Tree, that's what we do on there. And I'll just bring up the page. But while I'm bringing up the page, I'm going to talk a little bit about something that we just added on there, but also a little bit about how it's a part of a much bigger thing that we're actively working on. I'm not going to go into too many details on that for sure, but I'm definitely want to share. I want to kind of remind people of something I've already said in the past on this platform. As soon as I can find okay, here it is. Where are you? Okay, wait a minute. It's right here. Here we go. I'll bring this up here on the screen. Here we go. All right. So anyway, so if you're not familiar with the page, again, it is Samba Tree. SAMBA tree.com. All right. That's the page right there. And just this week, we added yet another thing. Fruits from the root. That's right. Fruits from the root. And what this is, these are dried fruits from the continent. Now, if you go through the site, there's many things you'll see on the site. What's our many goals here? I guess I'll just, and not in any particular order. Number one is to get our people who are suffering from diabetes and high blood pressure. My goal is to get as many of our people healed of that. I believe it's low hanging fruit. I believe it's something that can be taken care of. It can be done. It can be eradicated. And we are already seeing results of that. And we're very, very, very intentional with that. We want to see as many of our people as possible out of these hospitals and out of these doctor offices. That's our mission. And how do we do that? We got to take one step at a time. See, if you get your health right, then you can get your mind right, then you can start making better decisions. You understand what I'm saying? So that's our chip, so to speak, in this whole thing on bringing solutions to the table. So anyway, so with that being said, yeah, we're introducing fruits from the root. These are fruits from all over the continent. And it's not just, first of all, what I want to stress on here is that a while back, we had said that one of the things our desires has been to make connections with people on the continent. And not just on the continent, but through the diaspora. That's probably really what I was trying to say. is through the diaspora. We want to partner with people throughout the diaspora, farmers, people that make things, and we want to help do our part to create an economy, or to build up an economy, if you will, that directly goes to our people that are all throughout this diaspora. We want to do our part. We're not saying we're the only ones, because there's other people that are doing this as well. But here at Sabatree, this is one of the things that drives us, and this is what we're doing. So we're constantly trying to talk to people, trying to establish relationships and things like that, and we're able to do things a little bit at a time. So, what I would also like to see are clothes, little things that, other stuff that our people make in Central America, South America, and all of that, and really start working along that, because we are very creative people. We are very productive people. And there's a lot of things that we're putting out. We're just putting out all over the place. We need to learn how to centralize ourselves so to make sure that our people are getting the benefit first. Many of our people live in areas that are literally like a medicine cabinet. Just this week, we met a neighbor, and not only she's from Jamaica, but she's an herbalist, or she's trying to be one. And she was just talking about all this stuff, all my Jamaican people and all my Caribbean people in the house. I'll be laughing at y'all. I'm saying, because y'all be like, oh, it's like it's no big deal. Oh, you should come where I live. It's like, oh, they just be falling off the trees, whatever fruit it is. Soursop just be running down the street. And, oh, we just walk by the bananas. We just walk by the coconuts, And I'm sitting up there like, yeah, when we got Acme. we got a shopping bag or ShopRite. Y'all literally be living in your own medicine cabinet. Well, we all need to benefit from that, and so we want to be able to work out something with that. So anyway, with that being said, let me share with you, some of these things. So these fruits, as you can see on your screen here, you got pineapple, coconut, mango, papaya, jackfruit, and dates. Yeah, Brittany, I'm talking about you too. That's our dear sister. Anyway, so let me pull it up on the page here, and I'm gonna go through the details here and tell you what it's about. And we're gonna do a little show and tell, because I got some right here, right on my desk here. Anyway, so let's start out with the pineapple. Pineapples are packed with nutrients like vitamin C, manganese, and bromelain, an enzyme that helps with digestion and inflammation, grown in Ghana. All right, so this pineapple that we're going to be offering is coming straight from Ghana. Mangoes are a decent source of vitamin A, folate, and are pretty high in fiber, which is beneficial for colon cancer prevention, heart disease, and weight control. Grown in Burkina Faso. That's another thing. Heart disease, colon cancer. Then your father, he had prostate. Well, my father-in-law, he had cancer. I want to see that stuff disappear, and it can. But we gotta prioritize this stuff. I know we can. I know we can see our people being healed of cancers and stuff like that. And I ain't just talking about, no, we gonna have a tent meeting. We gonna be praying. Yep, we gonna be praying, and we gonna be saying, here, you need to take some of this, you need to take some of that, and I'm telling you, come back in a month and let's talk. You know what I'm saying? So these are things that can aid in the healing of your body, and they taste good. All right. Papaya is a great source of vitamin A and C, as well as potassium and fiber. It is also low in calories and fat, making it a healthy choice for anyone looking to maintain a balanced diet. Grown in Uganda. So this one is coming from Uganda. Coconuts are an excellent source of healthy fats, fiber, and protein, making them a perfect addition to any diet. They're also high in antioxidants, which help to protect your body from damaging free radicals. That one's grown in Ghana. And then dates. Dates are a natural energy booster thanks to their high levels of natural sugars, great for a pre-workout snack. Also, dates are used as a natural sweetener in so many natural desserts and nut milks grown in Tunisia. So, yeah, that's what we got here, family. All right, so what I'm going to do now, let me put this camera back on here. We have 3 samples here. I'm going to try these. I mean, you're going to be able to see my face. Someone said no figs. Not yet. Not yet. Well, if we find one, we'll get one. Okay, so here we go. So pineapple. Let me just show you that. So what they do, just so you can get an idea, the pineapple, they cut it, the pineapple, and they dry it, and we get it. It's just as simple. They ain't putting no other stuff on there. I'm gonna talk about a lot of these companies, what they put on these fruits. You're gonna need to pay attention. We gotta pay attention. We can't solve all of this in a day, family, but the little that we're getting, we can make little adjustments here and there. So the pineapple right here, as you can kind of look here, they dry that mud, they cut it off of that tree, they dry it, put it in the bag. I open that bag and it's in my mouth. And man, oh man, I taste every bit of sunshine. There ain't no sunshine. Well, there is sunshine in my mouth. Now, pineapple, I can eat all day. I'm sorry. Y'all hearing me eat or whatever. Let me go ahead and just, I'm going to put that down, okay? Now, his next one is papaya. Now, let me tell you about that. All right, so let me get that back on the screen here very quickly so you can see here about the papaya. Okay, so here's the description here. It says our fave, bold, flavorful, naturally sweet. The texture is soft and chewy. That's the pineapple. Now, I'm going to move to the next one here. I'll do it in order. The dried mango. So let me get that up here. All right, so we got dried mango. It's super good. Ripe mango with robust flavor. The texture is leathery and chewy, but not soft. So if we got some folks in here and your toofuses are a little whatever, then you need to be careful. Okay. Okay. You may need to be a little careful, but it ain't that chewy. Okay. But it's flavorful. I'm going to put this now. I'll switch back and put this on the screen so you can see in real time. Oh, as I'm like just doing so you can see right there. All right. So let me get a few pieces here. Oh, this is jackfruit. Oh, the mango, do I? No. Oh, we don't have mango. I'm sorry. Look, I'm deceiving y'all. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. But okay. So this is jackfruit. Okay, so let me go ahead. Let me see. Let me get to the next one here. I'll get to the jackfruit. All right, so this is the jackfruit here. This is from Uganda. It tastes just like real jackfruit, and it does. Now, that's the jackfruit. I'm going to go ahead and taste that now. Mildly sweet. Now, if you've had jackfruit before, I remember we used to eat that a lot in Florida. And you got to know where to go in Florida because them joints would be expensive. You get them the big jackfruit. How many of y'all have had jackfruit before, like bought it? You got to know where to go, though. Now, if you down like in Mexico or some of these other countries or whatever, you can probably, like I was getting soursop, man, a whole big thing of soursop, man. It would be like $2, $3. I was like, what? I'll take the whole stand. You know what I mean? But, up here in the States, y'all be getting, my people from Central and Southern America, you South America, y'all be getting new in Americas. I'm like, wait a minute, now it was $2, I can do the 20. Anyway, but jackfruit here, this jackfruit here, the thing about this is that it tastes just like jackfruit. It's like the description says, it's like a mildly sweet. It's somewhere between mango, banana, and bubble gum. Yeah, I'm telling you, the Most High has got some very interesting fruits out here, man. But this one is leathery and chewy, and not soft. So let me try this. Tastes just like jackfruit. Just like jackfruit. But it tastes like something is missing. And I'm going to talk about that in a moment. All right? While I'm up here smacking my lip here, I'm going to go ahead and get to this next one. There we go. I'm sorry, I'm being ignorant here with this y'all smacking up here. Dried papaya. All right, mellow sweetness, mellow flavor. The texture also leathery and chewy, but not salt. Huh? Make that big for you. I'm gonna have to mute this mic here because I feel bad talking like this. I'm sorry. Anyway, I just swallowed that thing. Anyway, so there you go, right there on the screen. Now let me show you what it looks like. I have it here on my bowl right here. Here we go. I'll bring that up right here. You see that? Yeah, there you go. It'll focus in. There you go. So I got my bowl right here. So I got a whole lot of it here. Oh, okay. And so yeah, let me show y'all some of this right here. So yeah, so now you know, papaya for me, it's I guess it's not one of my it's not on the very, very top. I like papaya juice, but the fruit, yeah, is not necessarily my thing. Only because it's sweet. I like sweet. I like really, really sweet, you know. But it's good though. It's good. And yeah, it's like straight to the point. It's good. I like it. But that's papaya. And but I also like papaya and mixing it up with stuff, especially like with nuts and stuff like that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to get this through my mouth here. But great snack, as you know, dry fruit. We're getting into the warmer months. That means y'all going to be going on probably some road trips and stuff like that, and you need to give your children some alternative snacks to snack on while they're in the car. Maybe when you're just going around the corner somewhere or whatever, instead of getting them doggone chips, Lay's chips, where they putting all kinds of crazy foolishness in there. Give them some of this stuff, you know. And then also, if you just want to snack around the house, I find myself reaching now. As long as it's around me, I'll eat it. Like, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I won't get that bowl of cereal. And so having like dried fruits and stuff around the house, it's a huge plus because it ain't sugary. Because the last thing you need when you, especially late at night, is something with a lot of sugar in it, you know? So having these dried fruits is very, very good. So anyway, so there you go. And I know you wanted to chime in on something, right?
Oh, no, I was hey, family. Hey, y'all. I've been ghost lately, huh? I've been ghost. I've been working, y'all. Been working a lot. No, Maria in the chat, she said that jackfruit tastes like juicy fruit gum. Mm-hmm. That's perfect. Like, I was trying to describe it, and she's right. It tastes like juicy fruit gum. That's a Maria on point description. That is absolutely right. And the papaya is very mellow. So if you're looking for sweet, the papaya is not very sweet. It's not very sweet. No. But you know, when you were talking about our goals in terms of like restoring health to our people,
yes,
combating high blood pressure and diabetes, this dried fruit would not be, you know, it's not for the people who are diabetic.
Right.
Okay. Because even though this fruit has no added sugar, it's fruit. So it's got, you know what I mean? It's, you're getting sugar. Okay. When you're eating this dried fruit. So that would not be advisable for the diabetics in the house. Mm-hmm. All right. So I just wanted to point that out.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I want to show this video right quick here that talks about, there was something, remember I was saying earlier, I said there's something that was missing. And it's something called sulfur dioxide. All right. Now, the pineapple, let me just go back to that real quick. You know how you get the pineapple, you know, in the store and it's got that sugar coating in it? Oh, no, we don't do that. So there's none of that. We gonna sneak some sugar on top of it. No, we don't do that. Okay. Right. It's natural. All right. That's what we do here. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. But there's something called sulfur dioxide that they add to to fruits, dried fruits.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let this video play here, and just give me just a moment here. Let's see here. Which one is it? This one? Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and pull this up on the screen. I'm going to let this individual tell you a little bit more about this sulfur dioxide stuff and why and what it's all about. Okay. So let me go ahead and turn that up and let's go.
Came across this trail mix. It was only $1.99, so I decided to check out the ingredients. While reading the ingredients label, I checked off each one until I got to sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is a preservative that is used in most dried fruit and trail mixes. It helps to preserve the freshness of fruit so it can have a longer shelf life. Sulfur dioxide is also found in fruit juices, cereals, wine, beer, processed meats, candy, energy bars, detergents, soaps, and shampoos. Dried fruit has the highest levels of sulfur dioxide in it. Eating one dried apricot with sulfur dioxide in it will exceed the recommended daily intake for a 6-year-old. Sulfites are also similar to sulfur dioxide. Sulfites are a preservative added to food and drinks to extend shelf life, and releases sulfur dioxide gas that helps to preserve the food and drinks. Sulfites cover a group of chemicals that can include sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is a closely related chemical oxide to sulfite. Sulfur dioxide and sulfites can be man-made and also occur naturally, and it's why it's found in wine and beer. Volcanic eruptions, fires, phytoplankton, the burning of sulfur-rich fossil fuels like coal, oil, and petroleum also produce sulfur dioxide. Many fruits and vegetables have naturally occurring sulfites. So are sulfur dioxide and sulfites safe to eat? Eating foods that contain sulfur dioxide and sulfites can cause allergic reactions like wheezing, asthma attacks for people who are asthmatic, gastric irritation, nausea, headaches, skin rashes like eczema, bloating, and swelling. So no, eating foods that contain sulfur dioxide or sulfites isn't going to be good for your health. In 1986, the FDA banned sulfur dioxide and sulfites from being used in fresh produce because it caused health issues in people with asthma. Sulfur dioxide and sulfites are allowed to be used in non-fresh fruits and vegetables like dried fruit, as well as manufactured processed foods like meat. Learn to sun-dry your own fruits and purchase organically dried fruits. Organically dried fruits won't last as long as conventional dried fruits because they don't contain the preservative of sulfur dioxide or sulfites, but you can freeze them so they last longer.
All right, so I'll just stop there. So you pretty much got the point there. There's sulfur dioxide. So that's something else again when you're out in these crazy grocery store streets. You can make sure you keep an eye out for that.
There was a study that was done that showed sulfur dioxide caused DNA damage and cancer in mice now. In mice, right? Caused DNA damage and cancer in mice. Now the FDA banned it for the fresh fruit, right, in your produce section, because they used to use it to make the fruit keep its color longer, right? So they could, again, make it more profitable. They not have as much waste. So they banned it in 86 for fresh fruit, but they still allow them to use it for dried fruit. And that bag of trail mix that he had in his hand, I literally had one of those bags down in the pantry like last year. This is, again, there's poisons rampant in the grocery stores. Poisons, right? That they just in Europe, for example, how GMOs have been banned for years, but the U.S. is no problem. So here, if you're here in the U.S., there's tons of stuff that is not just harmful, but poisonous to us. But anyway, so we just wanted to bring your awareness to that and why these fruits, fresh from the continent, without any of that stuff, we thought was a really awesome addition to the store. So, yeah.
And there'll be a lot more coming, family. So that's why we're very excited about this. I think this is just it's definitely, not that I think, I know, it's the first step. And we're very excited about this time that we're in right now. And you just got to be patient, and then most he'll bring good people your way that you can build relationships with. And we'll just see where this goes as far as like finding other sources of, things that can be shared and distributed all throughout the diaspora, for our people, because it doesn't make no sense how we all live. Most of our people live in areas where it's literally like you're living in your own medicine cabinet. But yet we sick. We sick. That don't make any sense. It don't make no sense. Yeah. So let's start honing in some of this stuff, and then let's start building with it, and let's start getting this stuff distributed. And then we can start telling the Bill Gates and all these other demons to get up out of here. Right. We got this. Okay. So that's what we're about here. So anyway, so again, the website is, you got it on your screen, bottom left-hand corner, sambatree.com. All right. And that's where you'll find all the wonderful stuff there that we have there in that store. All right. So now what we're going to do, let's take a short, tiny little break. And then when we come back, we're going to start getting in. So roll your sleeves up, family. Roll your sleeves up. We're going to have a discussion. All right. So we'll be back in about a minute or so. All right.
I love y'all. I miss y'all. I love y'all. Are we doing Samba tomorrow?
I don't know.
Okay. If we do, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I love you.
All right, we're back. Thank you so much for tuning in to All Plantation Radio. Remember, the audio version of this can be heard on our SoundCloud page. Just go to soundcloud.com, do a search for Journeyman and Woman, and then you'll find the audio version there at the conclusion of this broadcast. We'll have it up there for you, and along with all the other audios that we've done in the past and still doing to this day. Remember, we also have a podcast here that's based on right here on YouTube. It's called Digital Plantation, because the internet is in of itself a plantation. And if you don't believe that, then you need to wake up, because it is. You got so many black creatives on here that are leading the way when it comes to creativity and input on this digital field, but yet they ain't getting hardly anything for it. I ain't saying that. That's why they got to do something for me. I don't care. But I'm saying, there's a lot of other people out here that are doing some great work out here, and they do need to be rewarded for that. But, it's a plantation. There's one guy I was reading about, the platform that he was on, a month, he was making them about, I want to say between $10 to $15 million a month. $10 to $15 a month. And you know what he was bringing home? What he was getting in that same month? Like $2 million. And someone said, well, dog, $2 million, that's still a lot more than, still, that's way too much. That's way too much. You don't want to do that. So anyway, but yeah, so, and then they kicked him to the curb. I think he's on Twitch. I don't know anything about Twitch. I know it's like a gamer thing. It's like a nerdy kind of thing or whatever, but yeah, he was the highest, content creator that they had, and for whatever reason they kicked him to the curb. I don't know what happened, don't know at all, but that's what I heard. So anyway, let's get back into this. We're going to talk about let's get into some of these I told y'all, as you can see from the title, I mean, there is certainly a war going on, family. There is a war going on against families, period, but specifically Black families. And this is something that I'm sure that you are well aware of. The war did not stop during slavery. It continued. And I would argue and tell you that even after slavery, they had enough people that they could train during slavery, Black folks, to take their place so that black folks can continue on the stuff that we were experiencing in slavery as well. What am I talking about? You ain't making no sense. Well, let me just show you something. This is something I actually posted on the community page yesterday. Yeah, I think yesterday I posted it right here. This is just a small sample. This is literally just a small sample in here. So as you see from the top here, you got Freemasonry, and we've done quite extensive talks on this. Freemasonry is a Jewish establishment whose history, grades, official appointments, passwords, and explanations are Jewish from beginning to end. Now, that's not my words. That's the words of Isaac Mayer Wise. And he's not the only one that has said this. There are many others as well. And like I said, again, you can go on our Linktree page and look through our series where we really take a deep dive into this. And we ain't just showing you pictures of people flashing signs. No, we want to get to the heart of this whole thing, right? And he's got the symbol right there. You know, when you look at the Star of David or the Star of Israel or whatever, you know, which goes, it's not just they may call it that, but this is an ancient star. It goes all the way back to Babylon. But anyway, you got the up arrow and the down arrow, and that is just that's what the Freemason symbol is based off of. That people don't realize it, but it is. Well, anyway, then fast forward, you have the Prince Hall Freemasons, who, in a nutshell, basically you had Mr. Prince, who said, hey, listen, black folks need to have our own version of this. We see Mr. White has his Freemasons. Well, we want ours too. And that's what he did. So he flew to England. Well, didn't fly. He took a boat over there, I guess. And basically, I'm talking about, I'm putting planes when there weren't no planes, or maybe they were. I don't know. But anyway, went over there, got him a commission, basically got the approval of Massa, and said, hey, y'all can have one too. Just make sure you report back to us. Yes, sir. And that's what happened. And so here are just some of the people who are part of that organization. This is just some of them. Now, this is Prince Hall here, but it's not including, you got many, many black folks who are just in the general Freemason world, right? So you got Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan. Did you know that? Yes, Louis Farrakhan, Prince Hall Freemason. So I want to make sure you understand this. That's why I had to draw. See, I say this stuff all the time, and I say, you know what? I need to do a diagram because people really need to understand this and get this. So you see who's at the top, right? I showed you who's at the top. So ultimately, it don't matter if these people have a history of talking about those people. At the end of the day, if you're part of Prince Hall, you're under those people. And people don't want to put two and two together. Oh, no, you don't understand, brother. See, Freemasonry really came out of Egypt. And see, that's when we were running. Okay, all right, I can dig it. I understand that. But I'm talking about this brand of Freemasonry we're talking about today. Now, that's something else. And these Negroes line up to be a part of it. Anyway, Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan still believed to have been indirectly involved in the assassination of Malcolm X. Now, he denies it and all of that, but, the cloud is there. Ebony Publishing Company, John H. Johnson, helped propagate colorism within the black community. If you don't believe me, I know many of y'all who are my age, maybe slightly younger, maybe older. If you're familiar with Ebony magazine back in the day, just about every episode, every issue, it was nothing but what we would say fair-skinned people. Don't ever say fair skin, because fair means good. You can say light skin, but don't say fair skin, because what that implies is that they have good skin. But just about every issue had light-skinned folks, like they were the ones. This is the ultimate. Light skin, they are beautiful and all that. Yes, John H. Johnson massively propagated this in his publications. Massively did this. And even in the back of his publications, the ads, many of the ads were skin whiteners. And see, Negroes today, I'm talking about American Negroes, see, we want to act new and want to start talking down on our brothers and sisters in the diaspora who are on the skin whitening train right now. Not all of them are, but you do have quite a few that are on that train right now. And we want to look down on them. Of course, that's something they shouldn't be doing and all that stuff. But there was a time. You can go right now and look up all the episodes, I keep calling them episodes, all the issues of Ebony Magazine, the old ones. And I challenge you, go in the back and you're going to see ad after ad after ad after ad of skin whitening cream. So yeah, Negroes, they were pushing that and people were buying into that, trying to lighten their skin. Freemason. Next one. Here's Wilson Good. See, I ain't gonna let that sleep. I am not gonna let this sleep. Our people be we be focusing on other stuff. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Before you start talking about what they did back then and bombing up, Black Wall Street and all this stuff, did you know about this? See, a lot of black folks, we just we know, but we don't really, we put it on a different level. I don't know what that is, right? But here you have Wilson Good gave the okay. Now, I want you to understand this as someone who was born and partially raised in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Police Department was notorious for their racism. They were very racist. Now, here you had a case where you had the first black mayor of Philadelphia giving this racist police department the A-OK to bomb a black community. Well, he really didn't have a choice, and he was only operating. Okay, well, you give that same excuses for the people who bombed Black Wall Street. Give those same excuses. Well, that's different. See, your logic already fell apart right then and there. And don't you know these fools try to name a street after him in Philadelphia? I think they did. I'm not sure, but there was enough people in Philly that said, nah, this is wrong. They showed up. They rolled up. They was like, nah, he don't deserve nothing. But he still gets a lot of shine in these parts. Because why? He's part of them folks. So he bombed the black community. Al Sharpton, he was an FBI informant. Did you know that? Yeah, he was working with him. He was an FBI informant. Jesse Jackson, believed to have foreknowledge of MLK's assassination. Did you know that when MLK was shot, he literally took the blood off of MLK's body, put it on his shirt, wiped it on his shirt, jumped on a plane and did a press conference in some other city and talking about, I was just there with Martin Luther King and out, and then launch his whole career based off of the blood of someone else. I don't know where he is right now. I think he's suffering from something right now. And yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, and then Nelson Mandela. I remember, oh my goodness, Nelson Mandela. That was you remember that movie Serafina? Well, it started off as a play, but then, it was nothing until Whoopi Goldberg. No, that was a play. I've never seen the play, but I heard it was wonderful. But I'm speaking as an American. You know how Americans is like, something could have been going on for years and years and years, but until we put our stamp on it, it became something. No, that ain't true at all. From what I saw, the clips that I saw of the play, I just know it was breathtaking from what I've heard. It was very breathtaking. And then they got Whoopi Goldberg up there trying to talk with I'm like, okay. But anyway, so Nelson Mandela back in those days, he was lionized. He was lionized in those days. Well, you remember he came out of prison and all of that stuff and all, it was all this, oh, he's president and all that. Oh, he came from the gutmost to the utmost. You remember all of that, right? Well, did you also know that while he was in office, he cut deals with the white folks that were also still in power there? And part of the deal was that they were going to remain to be the largest landowners in South Africa. And I'm sure he got a bag for that as well. So he's Prince Hall too. I knew he's Freemason. I didn't know he was Prince Hall, but yeah, he's Prince Hall too. So yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. So this war that we're talking about, that we're engaged in right now, I've been telling you, the war ain't against white people. See, that's just so plain and simple. You got black people on one side and you got white people on the other side. Well, it's not that easy. It's not that cut and dry, because you got to cut through what you got in your own backyard first before you get to that battlefield. And that's been the thing that we just we're not willing to do that. Many of our people aren't willing to do that. So when you bring up some of the foolishness that's going on amongst our own people want to turn over. Why are you always talking about us? You beating up on us. It's these white people and it's slavery and all this other stuff. I'm saying we're going to get to that first. You trying to run to the main event and you ain't even trying to show up for training camp. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, with that being said, so one of the main wars, I told you this in a recent broadcast, is against our children. There's a real war right now that's against our children in this country and really all over the world. And what they're using right now as the main vehicle, of course, the war started with the music. When you look at black music historically, and the juke joint music from back in the day, it wasn't no kumbaya. It wasn't that, okay? It wasn't just that. I mean, you had some very nasty stuff from back in the day some black folks were putting out for real, but that's like Suge's juke joint. That's like in them, in the blues corners, them dark corners, where you got to do the secret knock to get in those places. But nonetheless, the music was getting out. But it wasn't, that was just certain small segments. But a lot of our music was not like that. It wasn't until we start getting into, if I really want to be successful, I got to partner with Epstein. I got to partner with the Epstein record company, and I got to partner with them and the Schomburgs, and I got to partner with them to get my music really out. Then once that began to happen, all of a sudden, the music started turning. It started becoming more and more sexualized. It started becoming all of that over the years, slowly but surely, and start doing that. All right. And then, for younger folks in the house, we saw what happened with the hip hop. Hip hop started off, it wasn't like that. It was about having fun and partying and just having a good time. And, we say busting, we used to be cracking on each other, but it was all in good fun and all of that stuff. Then all of a sudden, we started partnering with, we can't, once again, we can't get this thing all on and popping until we get with these big companies. And once that began to happen, we start talking about we're going to start shooting the police and we're going to start shooting this person because you disrespected me, and look at that girl, look at her behind, and it turned into all of that. And so while all of that, what I'm doing is painting you a very real picture of what's out here, all this craziness, right, that's going on. But in the midst of that, the target has always been the children, especially in the area of trying to sexualize our children. And so now what you're seeing is this whole transgender thing that's all out and about. This thing, when I tell you, these people are going hard and very fast with this thing. I mean, it's like lightning speed. I mean, when you start seeing companies, many corporations that are lining up and we just got to promote this. And we got like Disney, for example. Disney's going to have a transgender night or something like that at the California Disneyland in Anaheim. They're going to have like a night where they say, yeah, all ages are welcome. We're going to have a transgender night. We're going to have them all come out. Did you see the video? Did I bookmark it? Yeah, I think I did. Hold on for a second. Let me scroll through here and see if I can find that thing here. Now, I remember just recently we were talking on here. We were talking about we got like in a sidebar conversation. We were talking about who is it? Sesame Street. And we were talking about how Sesame Street back in the day, how it was like, that was the jam right there. Sesame Street was the jam back in those days. I mean, it was blacker than what it is today. I definitely remember that. It was black folks, and it was I'm gonna say Hispanic, but it was we say Puerto Rican. You know, it was Puerto Rican because there was a lot of Puerto Rican influence with Sesame Street back in those days too. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I thought I bookmarked it. Let me pull this up here. Anyway, so they got, so now Disney, Sesame Street has come a very long way. I don't know if y'all saw this video. Now I'm trying to get this thing to come up here. Did they just snatch this thing off altogether? Hold on. Where did y'all put that thing? Hold on. Okay, let me try another thing here. Hold on. They may have snatched that thing off. Hold on. Dang, they snatched it off of Twitter. Hold on, let me just see. I'm still looking here. Hold on. Well, I don't want to get in any trouble. If I can't find it on Twitter, then okay, here it is. All right, here it is. Okay. All right, I got it. All right, let me pull this up here. It is right here. All right, so check this out. I should make it small, so okay. I know I got my older people. Can you make it a little bit bigger? All right, so this is Disney. I mean, I keep saying Disney. Well, they all the same now. But check this out. Check this out, y'all. This is what they're doing on Sesame Street now. It done come a long way since the days of Mr. Hooper and Maria. I know the volume ain't all that, but just look at what's going on.
Look at what they're doing. They're forcing all this stuff on our kids, man. Look at that abomination right there with the horns and everything, dude. What is happening? Lipstick. Look at this, dude.
So they got Elmo out here now with a full beard on and got women hair on his head.
Pushing it on our kids, man.
It's crazy, but this is what they're doing. So this is a real war that's going on right now. This is a real war that's happening right now. So what I want to show you now is a video I found on TikTok here. Let me pull this up here. Where is it? Okay, here it is. And I want you to pay close attention here because this is the kind of stuff that's happening right now where this is how they're rolling right now when it comes to the children here. All right. And let me pull this up here and then let's take a watch here.
Pedophilic agenda trying to normalize it as if it's a sexual preference.
Our culture, and most folks are making incorrect assumptions about them without actually knowing much about them, and those assumptions create harm for an already marginalized population. You may have noticed that I'm using the term minor attracted persons, sometimes abbreviated to MAPS, instead of the more commonly used term pedophile. And I'm doing this because the term pedophile has moved from being a diagnostic label to being a judgmental, hurtful insult that we hurl at people in order to harm them or slander them. I also prefer person-first language that recognizes that any label we might apply to a person is only part of who they are and doesn't represent everything that they are. We are all people first with many different facets or parts of ourselves, and this includes folks who are attracted to minors. So to start with, let's talk about what a minor attracted person is or who they are. This term simply means that the person has an enduring sexual or romantic attraction to minors. They've not chosen this attraction, just as the rest of us have not chosen whatever our attraction is. You don't get to choose to be heterosexual or to be gay or whatever you are. And you don't get to choose to be a minor attracted person. Some minor attracted persons are attracted to a specific age range of minors, while some are not. And some minor attracted persons are exclusively attracted to minors and are not attracted to adults at all. Some minor attracted persons are also attracted to adults.
So this right here is the pedo flag. The technical term of this flag is MAP, which stands for Minor Attracted Persons. Now, the fact that this flag even exists is disgusting in itself, but once I actually look at this flag and look at the colors, it disgusts me even more. So here's a breakdown of what the colors mean on the flag. The top two stripes are blue to represent attraction to young boys. The bottom two stripes are pink to represent attraction to young girls. The inner yellow stripes are to represent childhood and general attraction to minors.
I don't care how well you talk about it, like this is a psychological condition that's a normal sexual preference that nobody gets to choose. People make choices every day. I'm sick.
Sorry about that.
Is anyone else asking themselves?
Sorry about that. That's it. Yeah. So in case you haven't been tracking, the UN, if I understand correctly, just are now pushing other countries to decriminalize countries from pressing charges or legal action against, adults who are attracted to children. You heard that right. This is what the UN is pushing right now. They want to decriminalize that. In other words, they want to make it, hey, listen, you like this, whatever that was just talking, was saying that, hey, listen, you can't help what you're attracted to and what you're not attracted to. Some people just, and so this is it. So this is where we are right now. So now they're just throwing open the doors and they are just saying, hey, listen, adults can go after children and it should be a legal protected right. Now, let me just say this from the top again. For those of you, if you're not familiar with this platform, I will tell you this. Let me just make it clear again. When it comes, I believe that there's man and then there's woman, period. I believe in relationships when it comes to a sexual nature should be within the confines of marriage. Okay. It should be that. And so that's number one. Number two, that is the only way that you can grow a community or you can grow people. You can't grow people. More people don't come about when you have two men or when you have two women. It doesn't work that way. You may say, well, the science is trying to do something right now. No, but the science still has to rely on the basic model of man and a woman. We learned this week, the video that we did, Samba Tree News, we talked about how what these wicked scientists have done is because we got the reason why we got all this pollen out here, during these times of the year is because science, many of these bright scientists got the bright idea to let's eliminate the female trees and let's just keep the male trees. And so now you got the males, literally the trees now, spreading seed all over the place, but there are no women. It's like they just are hell bent, and I emphasize the word hell bent in trying to unnormalize nature, basically leave it alone. So this is what we believe. That's what I believe on here. Now, if you're an individual who, let's say you're like, hey, listen, you're male and you are, you identify as gay or you're trans or whatever, you live your life, that's you. I'm not the guy that's going to be coming into your house protesting. I don't have time to do that. I don't want to do that. If you go to the grocery store and I'm at the same grocery store and I see you, you see me or whatever, we just going to keep on moving. We're going to most cases of my interactions with people, I don't look to check and see what their sexual preferences are when I'm on aisle 10. When I'm on aisle 10 trying to get some toilet paper, I ain't thinking about you. If I don't know you, I ain't thinking about you. Okay, so I've been there to get what I need to get and keep it moving. So I don't need to know anything else about you. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't throw my stuff up in your face. You don't throw stuff in my face. It's just as simple as that. But when you're on social media, they try to make it seem like it's all, oh, these people out here, they got the dagger eyes and all this stuff. Ain't nobody looking at you. Ain't nobody looking at me. So anyway, so if that's the life you want to live, then that's you. Now, I can go through medically and tell you that, the increase of danger that you're putting yourself in by living that lifestyle. I can explain that to you, but you're a grown person and what you choose to do with your life is your choice and you do what you're going to do. What I say is, and same thing I would say with someone who's living as a lesbian or a transvestite or whatever, or transgender, whatever the word is right now. You want to live your life, whatever you do behind closed doors, that's you. What I ask for in exchange is don't throw it up in my face. No, keep that out of my face. That's you. You live your life. Okay. So I just say, leave it at that and keep it moving. I'm not the one that's, like I said, again, going to be banging down your door and petitioning that you get out of town and all this. I'm not that person. If you ask me my opinion, I'll tell you my opinion. You know what I mean? Just as simple as that. But I'm just going to keep on living my life. Now, with that being said, what I have noticed is that those that are transgendered, why my big question is, why is there such a beeline once you acknowledge or you come out of the closet or whatever the term analogy is right now, you come out and make it open and I'm a transgender. You literally make a beeline to the children. Now, I don't understand that. I don't get, well, I do understand that, but someone trying to talk to me like this person was on this video, trying to make it seem as if that's normal. There's nothing normal about that. There's absolutely nothing normal about that at all. When you start involving children, if you want to put on a dress and want to live your life like that and you just okay, then do your thing. Listen, I grew up near the city, so I know you're going to see all kinds of cast of clowns and characters on the subway and the bus and all that. And for those of you who grow up in the city, you on the bus or you on the train or whatever. Okay, here's another one. Let me just keep on looking out the window, or let me just keep looking at my phone or whatever. And that's it. And you just mind your business. You know what I'm saying? But when you start bringing in children in the equation, now I got a problem with that. Now I got a serious problem with that. And yes, you will be hearing from my mouth on that one. Because because now what you're doing is that you're involving people that really aren't at the age to make decisions for themselves. So you see an opportunity to come in, you literally are sexualizing these children, you showing off your behind and doing all this other stuff and telling them that it's okay. Distributing literature that has all kinds of stuff in there, teaching them how they can do different acts and stuff like that. Now I got a problem with that. Now I got a serious problem with that. But we're not doing that, but when you start bringing in children in the equation, now we got some serious problems with that. And we should speak out on that. And there are many people who are doing just that. And I'm encouraging you too. Don't let these people silence you on this stuff here. When you see this kind of foolishness out here, you better speak up, because if you don't speak up, then what? So I'm saying this because in the meantime, family, while we got our stuff going on as a people, and we're going to get into, I'm going to just show you some things that I'm, picked up over the week. They're going after the children. So I want you to, I wanted you to see that part first. What their target is the children. But in order for us to even fight that, like really, really fight that, we got to deal with this other mess too that we kind of let happen. First, we got to first establish the fact and make it very known that when it comes to our children, they are precious, they are valuable, they are dear, and we're going to make sure that any child that makes it known that, hey, listen, I'm having some problems. Uncle so-and-so, he I don't like going to Uncle so-and-so's house because he always want to put, take me in the back room somewhere or something like that. Instead of just brushing that off, we need to make it known. There needs to be something that is strongly encouraged or a line that's drawn, a strong statement, something that needs to be made that we are not going to be that generation. You know why I'm saying this? Because see, that particular issue, I'm talking external forces, but you got uncles, you got grandmothers, you got grandpas, you got cousins that in many of our families, we got stories of stuff like that happening. And we also got stories of people knowing about it, but not saying anything. And some of those same people now are 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, even 80 years old. And the moment they start bringing that stuff up or what happened to them as a child, they start crying because it's as if it's just happened yesterday. And for generations, we have seen this stuff happening behind the scenes in our own families. And what I'm saying is, and I'm asking you is, will this be the generation where we draw the line and say enough is enough? If I hear anything, like someone just said, let me just make it clear. Like they said, let me make it clear. If I hear anything like that going on with anybody, any child I know in my family, it's a wrap. That's how we have to all be collectively. You understand what I'm saying when it comes to that kind of stuff? And you got stuff going on even in these churches. I talked about Kojic. A while back, I did a whole video on Kojic, how the Kojic church, you had bishops and pastors and stuff all in that denomination under Charles Blake, where stuff was coming out of these pastors and stuff, having sex with children and stuff like that. And they, and what Blake do? Well, we just gonna move them over to another church. And and as soon as you bring it up, people get mad at you. Why are you attacking the man of God and all that stuff? Man, get out of my face with that. I'll knock you out. I'm just saying. So we're gonna have to have that. So anyway, tonight I came across this video here, and this one is I'll play as much as I can of it. This channel is called Atlanta Street Interviews, and I'm glad someone is doing this. They're going literally in Atlanta, and they're interviewing people on the street. Now, Atlanta has always been set up as, is the Black Mecca. But if you are familiar with Atlanta, you can put a big asterisk by that, because it's a Black Mecca don't necessarily means Mecca, just basically means gathering. It don't necessarily mean success. You understand what I'm saying? And it's very murky what we define as success these days. But Atlanta also has brought in a lot of homeless people. It is one of the largest places of child trafficking in the nation. One of the largest, this so-called Black Mecca. And it's crazy. And so anyway, there's this story. It's a multi-part story. So I'll just fast forward, I'll tell you kind of whatever this conclusion was, I'll tell you this. Now, I'm going to show you this video. Now, in this video, it has a Cash App, because I know some of y'all are very good hearted and you want to help. But what I'm telling you is I'm advising you as your friend and as your brother, do not send this individual a dime. And I will tell you why a little bit later. Okay. But don't, because I know some people, you be ready to give, and that's precious and that's dear and that's sweet. But what I'm saying is, because there's a lesson to be learned in all of this, but I want you to first hear this individual story. And I'm showing this because, again, these are things that we got to focus on as a people if we want to, get to where we need to be. You know what I mean? And so this is just another one of those stories that, we definitely need to talk about or listen to or whatever. So anyway, again, this is coming from the Atlanta Street Interviews. That's the name of the YouTube channel. This is an 18-year-old young lady. And let's take a listen to her.
Wear condoms. Like health class teaches you. If you don't know how to raise a child, and if you don't know how to pay child support, and if you don't like kids, use fucking condoms or get a vasectomy. Do that for a change. Instead of raising a child you don't even adore, you don't even like, the way they act, the way they talk, the way they look, my entire fucking life, get a vasectomy or even adopt another child. Instead of dropping a child off at a fucking homeless shelter because you don't want to look at them anymore. I'm sorry, I'm just getting very...
No, it's okay. You gotta let it out.
Yeah?
You gotta let it out.
Yeah.
You gotta let it out. If you could give any message to them, if they were to happen to come across this video on YouTube and they were to happen to see you on this screen, what message do you have for them?
Just like, I would say, next time when a kid is struggling with schoolwork, help them out, because you never know, they might actually be struggling. And let them hang out with friends more too, because if you isolate them from friends for your entire life, they get antisocial, and for you to tell me to keep secrets like these for the past few years of my life, that's not great. So
what type of secrets?
Like not being able to hang out with friends, not being able to get help when I need it from teachers, and I have to do schoolwork on my own, and being called retarded for my entire freaking life.
Who called you that?
My parents. And then them saying that I was faking for my entire life, and I was like, bruh, if you didn't like this type of child, why the fuck would you get them? If you prefer another child instead of me, just flat out say it. Just say it. I know you don't like me, but for you to just take me in for child support and drop me off at a homeless shelter, that's not cool. That's not cool.
What's up, YouTube? I have the best trainer in Atlanta and possibly the world. Hit him.
If you prefer another child, for you to just take me in for child support and drop me off, I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Okay. So are you homeless?
Yes.
Okay. How old are you?
18.
18. All right. And so how long have you been homeless?
Since August 29th.
August 29th? What happened on August 29th to cause you to become homeless?
That was my 18th birthday. So I kind of went to a homeless shelter, but that homeless shelter sent me to another program due to my behavior.
What type of behavior was you doing?
Just anger. They sent me to therapy for anger management.
Anger?
Yeah.
You seem so soft and meek.
Yeah, but I could be a lion and a snake combined when I'm angry.
Okay.
So I went to another program, but that program, my days were up in that program.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to another program since I came back to my original program, and they sent me to another program. Then I ended up here, so.
Just outside?
Yeah.
How long have you been sleeping outside?
For a few days.
A few days?
Yeah, I haven't been keeping count.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any kids?
No.
No? Have you you've never been married, right? You're 18? Okay. Okay, so let's just start from the beginning. So, where are you from?
I'm from Chicago.
You from Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay, what part of Chicago? You from Southside?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, man. Shout out that Chi-Town, man. Shout out the South Side of Chicago all day long. Yes, sir. All right, so growing up on the South Side, did you have both mom and dad in the household?
Yeah.
Or were they married?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, you know, I mean, do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I got a brother.
How old is he?
18.
He's 18 as well? Are y'all twins?
Yeah.
Okay, where's he at?
He's at the program that I started at.
Okay, so he got to stay in that program?
Yeah.
Okay. Did both y'all become homeless at the same time?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about that, but okay. So growing up, would you say that you had like a fairly normal childhood?
Yeah, somewhat.
There was some hesitation there. Why the hesitation?
I mean, besides I couldn't really hang out with friends after school, it was okay.
Okay, so just like a little bit strict in the household?
Yeah.
Were you and your brother, y'all were the only kids in the house?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was you, your brother, and then your parents?
Yeah.
Okay, and so, you know, did you like go to school? Did you go to high school?
Yeah, I went to middle school, high school, so like 3rd grade all the way up until 12th grade.
Did you graduate?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I guess you graduated when you were 17, right?
Family, I'm gonna skip just a little bit here. Hold on.
29.
I mean, yeah, they were the ones who dropped me to the homeless shelter, so.
Okay, let me back up.
Yeah, I mean.
They do?
I mean, yeah, they were the ones.
Let me ask you this. Do your parents know that you're homeless?
There you go.
Yeah, I mean.
They do?
I mean, yeah, they were the ones who dropped me to the homeless shelter, so.
In Chicago or in Atlanta?
In Atlanta.
Okay, so do your parents live here in Atlanta?
No.
Where do they live?
Chicago, all the way across the road.
Wait a minute. These are your biological parents?
No.
Okay, these are your adopted parents?
Yeah.
Okay, so they adopted you and your brother?
Yeah.
What age, do you remember what age you was adopted at?
4.
4?
Yeah.
So do you remember life before you were adopted?
Yeah, I was, let's just say, spoiled. I was really freaking spoiled. I had a dog, a bicycle. My mom usually took pictures of me when I was a baby.
So why did you end up having to be adopted?
Well, I mean, hey, I don't know, child support, bro? I don't know. How am I supposed to know that? But
So
let me fill in a little bit, because like I said, you can watch the whole video on your own, and there's multiple videos on this that's tracking this young lady here. But in short, yeah, like she said, that she was in Chicago. Her and her twin brother, they were in Chicago, and once they turned 18, the parents, and that's the part I was trying to find, they said, well, think about what place would you like to go if you had a choice on where you would like to live. You know, what are some of the places? And she was naming, like, you know, the UK. She was naming like some islands and stuff like that. And then she mentioned Atlanta, and they were like, okay, pretty much. She said the next thing they know, her and her brother knew, they were being given their suitcases, and their parents. Now, these are adopted parents, and I'll tell you how that went down, because I'm just trying to cut through, because it's a lot of pieces in it. The adopted parents drove them down from Chicago to Atlanta, found basically a homeless shelter, told them to get out, and kept it moving. Now, these were the adopted parents that did this, and left them. Now, if, you know, many of you in watching this video, you can kind of tell she's, you know, definitely on the scale, you know what I mean? You know, and I think her brother might be too, but she definitely is. And so, but the adopted parents dropped her off there, and what you saw earlier in the video was her, really, I guess he played like a little bit later part of this whole interview where she was just kind of really letting it out, and just saying out, expressing how frustrated she was with the situation, like anybody else would be, and so they had dropped them off. And you may be asking, okay, well, where's the biological parents? Well, from the videos I saw, I don't know where the father is. The father is not even mentioned. The mother, what I believe happened, because like I said, it's like there's so many moving pieces here. And this is part of the reason why I say when you're dealing with someone that's got a lot of moving pieces and stuff going on, and you watch videos like this, you never want to drop money into that situation. It's not because I know a lot of us, like I said, we're very compassionate and we want to help, but you don't want to do that because people did at the tune of about 10 grand for what I understand. And I think half of it she gave to just somebody. That money was for her, but it ended up going to somebody else. And so you don't want to just drop money in people's hands like that, especially when there's a lot of moving pieces going on. So anyway, let me get back to this. You want them to get help, but dollars ain't really all the time the answer. But anyway, the mother, for what she was explaining is that she was in prison, and while she was in prison, I think one of the children got hurt. And so, once the cops get involved, they get wind of that, your kids are going after that. I mean, you in prison, your children are home by themselves. And then someone makes a call that one of them got hurt. It's just a matter of time. And so these adopted parents say, hey, we'll take them on. Now, the adopted parents, the picture of them is out here. This next video, it does include that. I'm just going to tell you that I don't know if that's them for sure or not. So don't act on that, because people be throwing any kind of putting people's stuff all out here, and then it ended up being wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't go by that, but the mother was, in fact, there's a video out here of the mother speaking, and she's vouching the story. I'm just saying to you that the picture that you're going to see on this video here, I'm not telling you that that's the actual adopted parents, but the adopted parents were in fact black. That much we do know. And so I'm going to play a little bit of the brother. Now, this is her brother speaking. And his video, I can actually just play the whole thing because it's a shorter video. And but I want you to hear what he has to say in this situation. And like I said, it's all gonna tie up. We're gonna tie this all up here so it all comes together here. But take a listen to the brother here.
Me and stuff, right? And then she lifted me up, she threw me around a few times, and I was like, nah, I didn't really care much. I wasn't doing anything in the first place. But yeah, she did that. So then she threw me against, I was in bump beds, and she pushed me against, like, the what is it, stairs, like the ladder, the ladder. And then she grabbed my balls and then she squeezed them, and it hurt like crazy. So I was like, yeah. And then
did she ever do anything sexually to you?
Nah, it was just, I don't know. She really didn't like me. So yeah. Huh. And then like my friends called me a nickname at school, right? They're like Teddy and all of that stuff, and so they beat me for them calling me Teddy and all of that stuff. And then
why did they beat you for them calling you Teddy?
Because they were like, you want to change your name and all of that stuff. And I was like, it's just a nickname. And they got pissed off at it. And note that I don't understand why. Because, you get nicknames all the time. So it was just
they beat you for having a nickname?
Yeah. But I don't understand why. Yeah.
All right, man. So, okay. All right. Did you get a chance to see any of your sister's interviews?
Oh, I did. I did see my sister's interview.
So you saw one of them or all of them?
I saw one of them because I didn't even know what was going on, and I literally got in contact with my sister, And my aunt, she yelled at me and all of that stuff about the interview. I didn't even know what was going on. I was trying to find my sister at the time too.
Your aunt yelled at you?
Well, she didn't yell at me. She was
just concerned about.
Yeah,
how...
she called me up and she
so
was like,
what was you guys' relationship with this particular aunt? Because, you know, they talked about her in the other interview as well. So, do y'all have a good relationship with her, or what was the deal with that?
Okay, so you know how I told you that my family, they said we didn't deserve their family.
They isolated you guys.
Yeah, so really I didn't know my aunt as much. We barely saw each other, and because like I barely, the only aunt that I saw majority of the time was my aunt Titi, Aunt Rolanda, and then my grandma. And even then I only saw her like 5 times.
In your whole life?
Yeah, because really didn't go out, see him as much, and I don't know.
It just ends there. Okay, so that's the brother, and he's talking about abuse. Now, you know, like I said, you heard her name is Jemiah. She referred to them as adopted parents, but right here is saying they're foster parents. What we do know about the foster care system, I'm sure many of you do know, is that, you know, the foster care system, you know, if you're foster parents, that's a little bit different, because foster parents, they get a little check every month, you know, for taking care of other people's children. And, you know, once they turn 18, then, you know, that's when they usually boot them out. Now, I know, especially amongst our people, and again, this is something that I know is hard for some people to listen to. We don't like talking about this, but I'm going to talk about it here because it does happen, and we have to find solutions for this. But I know for a fact, and I know many of you know this as well, is that we have many people, I'm talking about our people, who will take part in the foster care system of taking on these children, black children, and saying, come on in the house, we'll take care of you. But they really don't, because what they're more concerned about is the money, because from what I understand, you get paid pretty well for taking care of other people's children, but they're really not taking care of the children. This is not all the time, because you do have good examples out there of good foster parents out there that are doing the right thing. But I'm telling you firsthand, I remember, this is going back a while back. So we knew, it was like, man, I just got here, man, look all this money I'm getting. They were talking about the amount of money they were getting for bringing in these folks. Man, we might get another one, you know, like this is some kind of deal or something like this. So we grift off of our own children. I want you to understand this for a second. I'm trying to get you to really understand this for a second. See, yes, there is a war, like I just pointed out, there's a war against our children. But we can't really take head on the transgender war until we talk about the foster care war against our own children. And here you have these foster care parents, adopted parents, I don't know, but they were one of the two. They sound like foster care to me, who they turn 18. You know, this end of these children, both of them, you know, psychologically there's something going on where they're going to need some help. And she goes on talking about how, you know, because the guy asked her, he said, you know, have you been sexually abused while you're out? And she said, yeah, many times. Then she talked about how she met some dude and he gave her some beer and all this other stuff. And, you know, she's all over the place. So you have black adults who have for a very long time have looked and treated the foster care system as their own grift off of children that automatically pick up the fact that you only want me because you're getting a check from the white man. Isn't that crazy? You only want me because you're getting a check from the white man. And there are many of our people who participate and do just that. And then once they age out, once they hit 18, just like the government will toss them out, we toss them out. Now, again, I want to emphasize again, this does not apply to every black foster care parents are out there, because I do know that there are some very good ones out there that do love and do care and are very concerned and will go many, many miles for these children. And sometimes it just doesn't work out. I understand that too, because it's just, when you're bringing on some of these children, they're coming with a lot of baggage. So it's not an easy thing. It's not a light thing when someone steps up and says, hey, listen, I want to, I can't see these children just staying out in the street. Y'all can stay with me. Sometimes it works very well. Sometimes it doesn't. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not talking about the good-hearted, well-intentioned people. I'm talking about folks I know, even for myself, that will look at these children as a payoff, and these children picked it up. And so now you wonder why we got a whole generation of some of these young ladies that are now taking on TikTok and are basically saying how much they can't stand black men. And they will also say they don't stand black women. Because when you start, all it takes is start asking a few questions and you start finding out things about their background. I'm not saying they all come through this, but you do have a lot. This is impacting a lot of our children, a lot of them. And so now when they grow up, of course, they're going to have some identity issues, and that's going to open the door for all kinds of stuff. Well, maybe I'm not a man, or maybe I'm not a woman, or, maybe I should wear heels and a beard or something like that. This is it. What are the solutions? See, this is why, like I told people, this is why I said this in the beginning. So you may want to rewind back from the beginning. I address particularly people like yourself who always ask this. The solutions are many. And I explain very carefully what we're doing on this corner when it comes to solutions. But for your sake, I will go through that again. What we are doing for solutions in this particular arena is not just this arena, but just in general. We got to deal with the health and the wellness of our people. What we're addressing on this platform is the health and the wellness of our people. Once you address that, then you can start addressing this. And then from there, then you can start looking at all the other issues. But it starts with your health, and it starts with how you see and treat your wealth and your wellness. It starts with that. And that's what we're addressing. So it's a multi-layered, all hands on deck thing. That's what we're doing. There's other people that are listening to me that may say, hey, listen, I have a business. I need some people. I need some young people that's going to help me build a house, or I have a bakery. I need some young people that's going to help me with this or that or whatever. It's an all hands on deck approach. It's not a silver bullet approach. So yes, we need all of that, all of those hands. So there's multiple answers and there's multiple solutions. So my humblest advice is that when you ask, and this is just for anybody, what are the solutions? I'm telling you, that's the solutions. It's not just so we got to get the president to pass a bill. It's a multi-layered one. I just laid out for you what we're doing on this corner. But it's not we can't do it by ourselves. We're going to need other people as well that have other talents and skills and abilities and things like that. All of that. We got, there's parents, some dear parents that we have right now on Saturdays. One of the things they're doing for a solution is that on every Saturday now on MyBondTube right now, on mybondtube.com, we're running cartoons. Because the stuff that we're seeing on YouTube right now, they're slipping in this agenda. So instead of complaining about the agenda, we're providing a solution for our children and saying, here are some cartoons that we have selected. Here are some cartoons that we have previewed, and we made sure that it doesn't have any of this foolishness in it. Now, we gathered all of this. We got thousands of cartoons. We're going to put it on the server. And this is an alternative for our children. All right. So we got parents that are doing that right now. We also have, I'm telling you, everything that's been doing that we've been touching on this platform. And that's not to pat ourselves on the back, because because the parents I'm referring to are doing the heavy lifting. So let me make that very clear. It ain't all us just telling them what to do and pulling levers. No, they're doing it. There's many parents out here that are doing this right now that I'm speaking to, but we've been able to help and assist where we can. We have parents out here right now that have set up curriculums for our children. If you find yourself in a situation where your children are in a situation where they're in a school where they're being fed this nonsense, there are solutions out here. You got a network where they can go to and get the help that they need. Same thing with parent or teachers who want to get out of the system and they want to find a place where they can teach children, without having to fall for all of that mess. Well, we got a network for that too. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, there are solutions that are being done, but it's going to take there's multiple solutions for it. All right. So that's why we're looking at this. So that, because there are people who don't want to talk about it. We don't want to shine a light on it. And the only time we want to get angry and when it become defensive when it comes to our children is when a white man gets mad and wakes up and sees a child who accidentally knocked on his door and then shoots him. Now, all of a sudden, we ready to raise all heaven and hell together for that. But for stories like this, we don't want to talk about it. That's something different. Oh, it hurts my heart. What's the Cash App, honey? Let me just send you some money. But it doesn't solve anything. So that's what I'm talking about. And that's why I'm showing this so that, because I'm showing you the war, but I'm also showing you the players that are on that battlefield, but also the ones that are on the battlefield of our own backyard. We got some crazy people out here that are doing this kind of stuff. And that whole issue when it comes to foster parents, and someone said adoptive parents can do that too. They get money too, that kind of stuff too. We got to put a stop to that. You want to know why a lot of these children, black children, turn up being reported missing? You want to know one of the main factors of that? Is this what you're seeing right here? It's because of what they're experiencing in the home. If the home was sound, they would never leave the home in the first place. A lot of these children, they're not just being snatched off of the street. You do have cases where that's happening, but I'm telling you right now, a lot of these children are running away from home. And if they're running away from home, that means something crazy is going on in the home. But we don't have enough people that are willing to investigate that part. And when you do talk about it in a public forum like this, now all of a sudden people want to get mad because they don't want to hear it. Instead, they just want to hear you talk about what the white man is doing and how they're poisoning this and they're doing this and the conspiracy. Did you see them? And, you notice when they're in Pizzagate and all this other stuff. I don't care. That's crazy enough. But I'm talking about this gate right here. You understand? And we left the gate open. We left the gate wide open when it comes to this stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I'm showing this to you, and then basically I think the way the story ended up, I think she's back home in Chicago right now. I think her brother is too. I think they're both home in Chicago, but it still looks like a very volatile situation. It just, I don't know how much longer that's going, because, as you can see, the young lady, she's going to need some help. She really needs some help. The mother, you just got out of prison. I don't know. I don't know what's all going on there. And of course, the father, where's the father? You understand what I'm saying? Where's that? And that's another issue that we have to talk about as well. So but I want to encourage you, just even with that, before we get to this next story, is that amongst our people, there are plenty of great examples of parents that are taking care of their children, that are doing the right thing, that are being watchmen in their communities and in their, whatever it is that they're part of, and they're doing the right thing. So I want to applaud those that are doing that. And I want to make sure I'm making that very clear, because a lot of people get in their emotions and think that you're saying all black people are like that. And I know that not to be true. There are plenty of black individuals out here that are doing the right thing. But unfortunately, we have the percentage of people who are not, and this is why we have the situation like we're seeing right now that's erupting in places like Chicago, and other places where they just, many of our people are just running rampant in these cities and in these stores and stuff like that. And, we don't talk about it because it's too embarrassing to talk about. But, after a while, you're going to have to deal with it, because sooner or later it's going to come to your neighbor. You can't, and so a lot of times our answer is, well, let me move far away from it. Let me move where the white folks are. Well, they going to follow you wherever you go. And it's a sad thing when you have to run away from your own people, isn't it? But these are real issues. Atlanta, just like many other cities throughout the nation, are full with young ladies and young men just like this, who find themselves in a situation where even their own parents don't want them. And then you got the next layer, like in this particular case, of foster parents that are rubbing their hands, doing the Birdman hand rub, like saying, how much money can I get off of you? I challenge you to look up on YouTube and see how many black YouTubers are talking about this. Many of them not, because it's not popular, because you'll lose followers. You'll get more dislikes when you talk about this. But family, we have to not just talk about it. We're going to have to bring real solutions to the table when it comes to this, okay? So I wanted to share that with you. It's a very sad and moving story, as you can see, but it is nonetheless something that we definitely have to, deal with here, as a people. This next story here, you guys remember Shanquella Robinson? You remember that story? That was a young lady that traveled down into Mexico with her friends. And, from what we're hearing, because none of us were there, what we saw was a video where she was fighting with her friends. And basically, from what we understand, it was a fight that did break out, and it ended up with Shanquella losing her life. And they're calling it murder. Now, the United States government, the federal government, said they're not pressing any charges. They're not going to do anything. And however, I did hear from somewhere that they said that perhaps the Mexican government will be pressing charges. So we don't know. It may kind of sort of make sense that the federal government's not doing anything. I'm talking about here in the United States. But because it took place in Mexico, my hope is that the Mexican government would in fact press charges, and they need to bring all of those Negroes to justice on that, for real. And so anyway, what a lot of people aren't aware of is that the way that Shanquella's body got here back into the United States was by way of her father, who was, even though the father and the mother were not together, he still stayed in close contact with his daughter from time to time. And we're not privy to the whole entire relationship and situation, but he that put up the money so that the body can be flown back here in the United States. But I want to show you this press conference that he did. I don't know if this got any too much attention here, but someone sent this to me, and I thought it was very interesting, and I wanted to play this because of it was, of just what stuff he was saying here. And so let's take a listen to what he has to say. This is, again, Shanquella's Robinson. This is the father.
It's just sort of a little emotion standing here talking about this. It's on back order. But her marker came, so I brought you all out here today to let y'all know that, her mark is down now, I can come, me and my mother, my family, I can come up here and talk to her. I know where she at. Because at first, I didn't know I didn't even know she was over there. I talked to her that Wednesday before she transitioned over. I get a phone call from my mother saying that she transitioned over in Mexico. Then I get a phone call. The only thing I know, she talked to Khalil Cook, supposed to be her best friend, 2 times on the phone. I ain't know nothing about that. I just felt as a father that
Plain and simple.
Sorry about
Your
that, y'all.
business
Hold
can't
on.
scale on QuickBooks. Here are
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, someone says she was getting beaten in that video. You're right.
the way I love her, the way I raised her, that I should have had an opportunity to give her that father advice or my opinion about going over there, in which I didn't. And I know for a fact, from the bottom of my heart, we all might not even be standing out here if I had that opportunity to speak to her, even though she's 25 years old. She grown, but still at the same time, I'm her protector until she get a husband. When she get a husband, then he become a protector. But as this father standing right here, I feel like I should have been her protector, and I was denied that.
What would you have said?
I would have asked her who she going with. How well do you know these folks? Then I would have came back and said, well, who their parents are. Well, before you go, let me meet these parents. Let me meet these folks. You know, I always been like that ever since she started beginning having a lot of friends. You know, as a father, you know, not trying to be in her business. It's just the point of making sure she okay and the folks that are around her, who she keeping company with. Because everybody can say you your friend, but they're really not. It all depends on what you got and how you carry yourself. And she carried herself very well, because that's how I taught her, you know. The respect, morals.
Have you met these friends?
No, I never met her. Didn't know nothing about her. You know, only thing I know, her mother said they went to school with her, and she's gonna tell me, you know, told me, well, you don't know them. So I said, do you know them? She said, I know of them, but I'm seeing in the interview, you know, you told your lawyer, Sue Robinson, that you just know one of them. That was Khalil Cook. So that tells me right there, we both was in the blind, as a mother and a father. We both in the blind. We both didn't even know these folks, you know. So.
Can we start last week, or about more than a week ago? I'm sure you heard the information, got the information that there will be no prosecution by the United States Attorney's Office.
Well, yeah, but the case is still open though. So God is still moving. My faith is so strong as a mustard seed that He will prevail. You know.
And what does that look like to you?
Patient, like I always been. Just like y'all standing out here, I was patient while y'all set up and everything. I always been patient.
But I mean, what does that look like as far as, you said you're still hopeful for what?
Justice will be served.
Let me skip it a little bit here. Let me see if there was another part here. Hold on.
Get away. They're not gonna get away.
What is your message to them?
To the utmost. I'm frustrated. I just can't understand why, you know, the autopsy that I got back saying that her neck and spinal cord was broke, because when I talked to the young lady, Miss Elizabeth, who over there, she, I asked her before she even sent her body back to me, you know. I asked her, I said, Miss Elizabeth, what, you know, how my daughter died? She said, Mr. Robinson, your daughter's neck and spinal cord was broke. I said, you kidding? I just started crying.
Because they're saying that the Mecklenburg County medical examiner is saying that they didn't even make visual confirmation of that.
Well, I can't understand that. I don't know who the medical examiner who did her autopsy on her body, but I would like to know how many years experience that he have.
Okay, so it's getting into some other stuff there, but that's, you know, so you can watch that too. This is with the Queen City News. You can look that up, and this is Shanquella Robinson's father. You know, he's giving his take on it. I'm showing that because when I saw this video, what it showed, one of the things I got out of that is how here we have yet another example where the father, for whatever reason, apparently was not part of the mix. I'm not blaming him. Don't get me wrong. Don't take it that way. I'm not saying that, because you heard him say, hey, listen, had I had known, I would have told her this, that, or whatever. I can only take what he's saying at face value. I don't know. He may have been a horrible father. I don't know. I can't speak for that. I can't speak on that. But what we can agree on is that when a father is not there, when he's not present, and she's 25 years old, But even as a 25 years old, you know, and you traveling the world or you going to other countries and all of that, typically, you know, especially as a female, you're still going to have someone you're going to check in with, a parent or two, and let them know, hey, listen, I'm going over here. And, you know, as parents, we always going to have to say something to say on that. But it sounds like in this particular case, the father, he didn't even know. Like, he was totally out of the loop on that. The mother knew, but he didn't. And so, again, this is no shade on him because I don't know him. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just talking about just what happens when a father is not there, when he's not in that mix, so to speak, and what happens. And we see in this particular case here, it didn't end up too well. You know, as men, we are protectors. This is how the Most High, this is how he created us to be. And so, you know, but when you have these disruptions within our own family structure, a lot of times when men are being left out or not in or part of the situation, you know, it does create these gaping holes, if you will, you know, in families. It does. And it allows things to happen. And a lot of times it's unfortunate things. So this is another thing. You know, this is a whole nother issue too, as it pertains to, you know, the things that we need to focus on. You know, if you want solutions, these are things that as a people, as a family, we need to focus on these things. It's got to be more honesty when it comes to the things that we're seeing or we're aware of in our own homes. You know, we talked about, you know, just, you know, earlier, you know, today with the whole abuse thing and all of that, you know, we got to be honest with that. You know, if you know something, you know, we can't wait for the government to tell it to mandate something. We need that. There needs to be enough love in our hearts for our own people to stand up and say things in our own home. And I'm not talking about social media. It's easy to go off on people on social media, but it's another thing when it's someone like a grandpa or grandmother or an aunt or uncle or whatever. Sometimes we get a little quiet on that stuff, but we can't. And then what I also showed you too is just this, and it was another video I had, but I ain't showing that. It's some other nonsense that was going on in the school system where teachers were just fully engaged. These teachers now fully engaged in sexualizing our children. But the first things first, family, is that we got to focus on the stuff that's going on within our own communities. And what I'm telling you as your friend and as your brother is that this has to be a priority or the priority when it comes to this war that it's actively going on right now as we speak, and it's targeting our children. If we're not going to be the generation, this I believe, and I'll say this and I'm done. If we're not going to be the generation that's not going to be honest with ourselves and draw the line when it comes to this kind of stuff within our own backyards, if we don't do it, then the generation of black people that you're watching today is going to be the last generation. Now, I want you to really think about what I just said. It will be the last generation. Because everything after this generation is pretty much going to be all water from that point. I'm not hoping for that to happen. I'm not wishing, I'm not praying for that to happen. But what I'm telling you is that the trajectory that we're on right now, where we cannot be honest with ourselves, we always have to find a way to deflect and point in other directions. If we can't sit down and really, you know, say, listen, we got to be serious about this. We got to be very intentional about this. Applaud those and support those that are doing the work. You understand what I'm saying? And for those who ain't, just ignore them and keep it right on moving. But I'm just letting you know, the good thing is there are many of our people that are out here that are doing the work. There are many people, and a lot of them don't have YouTube channels like I do. A lot of them don't have a social media presence because they're too busy doing the work. So I want to make that ultra clear. But the fools and the idiots out there that just all about just making a bunch of noise and stuff like that, it's time for them to get shut down. They got to get shut all the way down. And we got to stop giving platform to these people, you know? And so that's what I want to share about that. There is a real war that's going on, but it starts in the home and it starts in the house. And we got to start drawing some serious lines I want to end this. This is a somewhat of a funny video, but this is the kind of focus that we need to have. I will, some of y'all have seen this video here, but I really like it. This dude is this is a foot race, and let me just pull it up here. Hold on for a second, and watch how this guy is trying to be. Just watch it. Hold on.
Everybody tag me in this, so let's get to it. Little fella started out moving, but the big fella chased him down. And when he got in front of him, he had to chuck the deuces like Tyreek, but then he bit the dust.
Oh! Oh, man. Why'd you do that? I got to go back again. I got to go back. Hold on.
The dust.
Hold on. Let me go back.
He had to chuck the deuces like Tyreek, but then he bit the dust.
You got to have that focus, man, in this hour. We got to have that focus where we just moving on. We ain't caring what's on the left or the right of us. We got to have that kind of focus, man, because, listen, it's going to take that to secure what should be precious to us, and that's our children, family. So that is all I have for you this wonderful evening. And again, thank you so much for tuning in to this this broadcast of Off Plantation Radio. The recording of this will be uploaded on mybondtube.com. And if you don't get a chance, check out our shorts section here on YouTube, because we got a lot going on up there. We got more videos we're going to be throwing up there. Also, our podcast that you'll find, our Digital Plantation podcast, we'll be throwing that up there too. We're adding more and more to that as well. So again, family, thank you so much for tuning in. And I pray and hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you again soon.